Good evening. It looks like I'm live. How are you? Tonight I'm going to talk to you all about color correcting for your skin using 3D cream foundations. My name is Mary Ann McNally and I'm extremely happy to be here to be sharing lots of great ideas with you about how to do some concealing on your skin. I know my skin has changed dramatically, definitely in the last couple of years, but over the last 15 years, I have gained sunspots, broken capillaries, a little bit of redness in and around my glasses. I have some scarring. So I'm full of color correcting. And I'm okay with that because I have the tools to do that. And I wanted to talk to you tonight about all of the things that we can do to color correct the areas on your face. I'm going to start with, I just want to show you some of the things, some of the tools that we have as artists. We're flooded with information online. We have our own personal website that we can, well, the company website that we can refer to, but this is some of the tools that we have to look at color correcting. So I'm not going to say that I know everything, and sure, this is a cheat sheet, but it's really helpful for anybody to get the right colors. So I'm going to start with something really simple, blue under eyes. A lot of us have that. Mine are actually a little bit purple, more purple and red than blue, but typically you'll see it anywhere under the eye here, all the way across, sometimes up, sometimes the entire eye. Some people really have a lot of discoloration, and there's a lot of them are sad that they haven't found the right things. I've treated and helped a couple of gals that had like brown eyes around. If you look on my feed, you'll see some of those posts, the before and after. So I got a little sidetracked there, but color correcting is awesome. This is the blue that I'm talking about. So what we normally have done is taken a concealer of some sort. Usually it's, brighter yellow, and I know I'm guilty myself for many years to just take that and just do the whole under eye. Just to refer back, I just posted a reel earlier tonight, and it'll see a check mark and an X, and we're talking about concealing and doing the under the whole eye and how different it looks compared to not doing that. So you can go back to that and look. But we're not going and covering the entire under eye. We're taking a look at, so this is what I would suggest. Look straight on in the mirror and see what's happening. So I'm looking straight on and I'm seeing a little bit of discoloration here, definitely some in here. This is a dry patch that I contend with for the winter. And I'm just doing the eyes all in this area and down here. So when I'm treating my concealing, I'm just going to treat that area. So I'm going to do one eye with Mango. And so when you have blue discoloration, you want something that has a little bit of orange in it. And again, if you're looking at the color wheel, it would be opposite of that. So this is Mango right here. This is probably the #1 concealer that I'm recommending. I think it works on a lot of different people. It also works on purple and purplish bluish under eyes. So again, here I go. I'm just going to, I wanted to say I looked straight on and I showed what I saw. Now I'm going to turn my head down, and lo and behold, there's a lot more blue or purple right here. So I don't see it here, but I see it here. I want to address the entire thing. So I'll start looking down and just go right in that little area there. Some women have what's called a trough, which is when it's really puffy and then you actually see, an indentation. You want to just hit that trough part first. Okay, so now I'm going to go this way and I'm going to leave it at that, because I'm going to take this other end, and this is the multitasker brush, and there's a little bit on there, and I'm going to take that and I'm just going to spread that down. Now I personally can use Mango here. I can also use Frenchie, which I'll talk about in just a minute. That has a little bit more pink in it. but definitely addresses some of those colors. So now you can see down in here, I've pretty much eliminated that little area there. I'm gonna put what's ever left on that brush. And there we go. So happy to see everyone here. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. So I've just taken that mango and I've looked in a couple of different angles and I've addressed the areas that I want to address for right now. I'm not going to do my entire eyelid because I'm going to be putting some of my brightening highlight on there, or I typically would do that. So you can see where that calmed that whole eye area down. So now I'm going to take a different color. It's called Frenchie. And Frenchie has a pink tone to it. This is the missing link, in my opinion, for those who have really, really dark eyes. It's pretty shocking to see the difference. So I'm going to take some of that Frenchie on the tip of my brush here, and I'm going to go in this area here, and I think that's about it. Now both will cover. One will cover a little bit differently because obviously it's a different color. Okay, so you can see, and now I need to go up in this little area here. You can see where I don't have any of that Frenchie here. I don't have a lot on my brush. A little bit goes a long, long way. So I'm going to take the end of my brush and just spread that up. So one of the reasons why you really want to just minimize the amount of product that you have and to use a brush to spread it is it will eliminate extra packing, extra product in that eye area. When you're putting your concealer just on the outer edges or in the darker spots, you're not putting it on everything. And if you look at my eyes, I'll just kind of squint a little, you know, when I'm laughing. You can see where it's in here, and I definitely get crinkly in here. If I really packed it on heavy, that's where it's going to show. I don't really want it to show there. So I'm going to look straight ahead. I would say, why don't you tell me in the comments which eye do you think? This is Mango and this is Frenchie. I'd love to know your opinion on which you think has better coverage. So if you're on live, do that. All right, so the next area that I'm going to go in is, we have a winner. All right, we have a winner. This is Mango. I think Mango covered much better as well. At the end, I'm going to put some coverage on everything so you can see everything all at once, but the Mango's really nice. The Frenchie's good, Mango's a little bit better. The next one I'm going to use is called Sunlit. Another very, very popular color. That one is for more purple. I'm going to actually put it on my nose area here. This is the color that works the best for me. This is a little bit of what we talked about in the beginning by putting a brighter color in that area. All right, and so let's just play. This is going to be that Sunlit, and let's put Frenchie on this side. Again, just so you can see. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my main highlight. Let me just grab my brush. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. And I'm just going to go in and cover around here. And you guys tell me which color you think made the best choice. We made the best choice. Okay, so we're just looking, you know, from here up. Let me just get my brush. Between here and here. I think the coverage is Mango. Works out really well. It really does. All right, so that was my main color, which is June. I'm sorry, that was Amber. Another color that another color that is helpful, which is oftentimes a main highlight, is June. June has a little bit of green in it. And I'm just going to go right in this little red area here. And I'm going to pat that June right on. And look at, lo and behold, what that did. And when I mean I had a little bit on, I really had a tiny bit on. So now we've covered all of that red. I'm going to take a tiny bit more. We're going June, and I'm going to go in and around my nose area. And that's with the June, and that's cutting down that red as well. Okay, there we go. So we're getting there. So I'm really kind of, this is a particular case where I want my coverage to be a little bit more than light. I can still get light coverage by covering everything and then, going over what we need at the end. But when you tone down everything, I personally feel like you jump up into the medium or full coverage. Just my opinion on that. It could be dependent upon how much you put on. It really just depends. So I'm going to go with one more coverage, and that is called Aspen. Aspen is, I think it's a pretty magical color. It's actually a contour, and all of our contours do have coverage in them, which means when I put that Aspen right on here, I'm actually going to be covering it. I have a scar here that is, pretty annoying in my opinion for me, because it does have a lot of texture, and this is really white in here, and then there's pink skin, and so I'm definitely playing around with this. And this pink right here, for whatever reason, I really, I have to make sure that I have good coverage on it or it will pop through. I'm not sure why that is, but that's just this area right here. So I've gone in with this contour. It's the lightest of our contours. And we're going to put it in a little bit of a different place. We're going to actually go right in on this whole area. And I'm going to tone all of that down. Now, this is a new scar, newer-ish, from May 2020. I got this scar, and it's gone down quite a bit, but it has a lot of texture in it. So I struggle with that because when you look right at it, my texture is right there, and that is actually lower than where I would really want my contour to be. So it's a tricky little place there for me. So I find that I have to spend my most time right in that area there. So look at that. We're pretty much done. The only thing left that I feel that we have to do is hit in around our eyes. And I'm just going to take the tiniest amount of my brightener. Okay, so you can see that that's tiny, tiny, tiny amount. And I'm just going to swirl around. And this is your primer for your eyes, if you would like. And so there we go. That is everything that I would do normally to tone down any of my situations. And what I covered were brown spots, red. Actually, you can see a few of those brownish spots right there. So let me just take what's ever left on this brush here and see if that does anything. A lot of times there might be just enough. So even if I can tell you this right now, I'm going to take some of this and just bring it down. It's not that there's a lot on here, but it's a cream and it just moves so nice until it's all set. So I was just able to cover some of that red there. So I covered red and brown spots, red here, blue in the under eye here. I used mango on this side. I used Frenchie on this side. I used Aspen contour, which gave me coverage. So let's look at this side here. This side has the contour, again, which has coverage. So you can tell there's just more coverage. So I'll look at that side, and then we'll look at this side that we just did some correcting. Although it had coverage, this had a little bit more. So those are the different things that you do to cover and conceal the things that you want to cover and conceal. Are there other options? There definitely are. There are options where you can use one of our lip and cheeks, Scarlet. It's a bright red, or like a deep red. If you have really dark under eyes, believe it or not, that's what you would put on before you put your main color on. If you have any questions, just let me know. Let me just check my notes here because there's so many things to cover. Yeah, I feel like, one of the things that I'm doing when I'm working on your color match is looking, I'm zooming in on these pictures to see what's happening. See what color is going on under your eyes, and do you have brown spots, and are they actually brown, or are they purple or red? So those are the things that I'm looking at when I do your color match. So oftentimes you'll get your main contour, your main highlight, your brightening highlight, and a lip and cheek. So that would normally be like four of these. If you need correction, there's probably going to be a fifth one. I always try to see if there's, in one of the two highlights that I'm giving you, opportunity for coloring. And a lot of times there is. And a lot of times, I'll say you need a little coverage, but let's try to go without it, because you might get what you need with the colors that I've chosen for you. So a lot of information. I hope it was helpful to you. You don't need a color match per se for these. I mean, if you think you have blue, you can go and you can get the Frenchie or the mango, that kind of thing. But I definitely think it's worth it to spend a couple of minutes and pop your color match form. You can send me a DM with a selfie. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. It's information that you'll have for when you're ready to place your order. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you had a great day, and reach out if you have any questions. Thank you so much for joining. I so appreciate it. Thank you. I'm just going to do a little snapshot. I learned how to do that. Let's see if it works. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm done. Thank you.